Hello, everyone. Meet myself, Sanjeev Kumar, Head of Information Security in Success Private Limited. And today is our special guest, Mr. Indranil Chatterjee, who given a uh, information about cyber resilience. So first of all, I just most your warm welcome, sir, to the
Thank
our
you.
In Success platform. Guys, Indranil Chatterjee is the information technology and security veteran, and he have more than 25-year experience in the IT industries. And most of the top 50 companies, he give their services and their knowledge uh, to for their risk and audit and infrastructure operations. So I'm not giving take too much time. Sir, you are the audience with the audience. All of you are with the Indranil sir. Sir, now you start, sir. It's your desk is yours, sir.
Okay, thanks for the opportunity to allow me to speak on a critical subject, that is cyber resilience, which is very important in today's world. And yes, I spent 25 years in the industry in various platforms, various organizations to support this information security and risk management. So I'll speak about some specifics. So we can start the discussion if you are okay.
Yes, sir. Please. Sir, so the first question of the resilience, when I give your um, session in our LinkedIn profile, I got some questions that what is the measure you suggest to prevent the cyber attack?
Yeah, the measures. So it's important. Uh, First of all, as a CISO or a cyber person or a head of cyber, I mean, anybody in a management role of information security should target train your staff, which is one of the most common ways cyber criminals get access to your data is through your employees. They will send fraudulent emails impersonating someone in your organization and will either ask for personal details or for access to certain files, critical files. Links often seem to be very legitimate to an untrained employee, so it is easy to fall into the trap. That is why employee awareness is vital. I would start with that. One of the most efficient ways to protect against cyber attack and all type of data breaches is to train your employee on cyber prevention information and inform them about the current cyber attacks so that they are aware and they should not fall into the trap. The second important thing which I would highlight here is keep your software and systems fully up to date.
Mhm.
What is that means? Often cyber attacks happen because your systems and softwares are not fully up to date, leaving weaknesses.
Mhm.
Hackers exploit these weaknesses, so cyber criminal exploit these weaknesses to gain access to your network. Once they are in, it is often too late to take preventive action. So what is required to counteract this? It is smart to invest in a patch management system, which you need to create in your organization. A process that will manage all software and system updates, keep your system resilient and up to date. The next topic in this particular area of measurement of cyber attack is ensure endpoint protection. All the endpoints connecting to your enterprise network. So endpoint protection protects networks that are remotely bridged to devices, including mobile devices, laptops, tablets that are connected to corporate networks and give access paths to security threats.
Mhm.
These paths need to to be protected, specifically endpoint related protection software to be used. Then one more thing I should highlight, that is install a identity firewall. I mean, the old firewall is just rule based, but you should go in a current scenario of an identity firewall. There are so many different types of sophisticated data breaches, and new ones surface every day and even make comebacks. Putting your network behind an identity firewall is one of the most effective ways to defend yourself from any cyber attack. An identity system will block any future brute force attacks made upon your network and or systems before it can do any damage. Then I'll come to some of the protection activities which you need to perform. That is backup your data. In the event of a disaster or maybe a cyber attack, you must have your critical data backed up to avoid serious downtime, loss of data, and financial loss. So data backup and recovery is very important out here. Then, according to Gartner, most of the hacks taking place because of the weak access. So access management is the next area which we need to highlight. One of the risks as a business owner and having employees is them by installing software on a business-owned device that could compromise your system. So having managed admin rights, which means least privilege principle, need to be followed. Blocking your stuff, installing or even accessing certain data on your network is beneficial to your security. It is your business, so protect it. Finally, I'll talk about passwords. Having the same password set up for everything can be dangerous. Once a hacker figures out your password, they now have access to everything in your system and application you use. Having different passwords and complex passwords, according to the guideline for setup of every application you should use, that is a real benefit. Either you use a complex password on your own, or a password complexity tool can be integrated so that your passwords are pretty complex and cannot be easily guessed to benefit your security, and changing them often will maintain a high level of protection against external and internal threats. That is my view in this point. Sandeep,
So it's a
am I audible?
yeah, 2 MFA password is necessary nowadays.
Yes,
So,
yes. Multi-factor authentication is
yeah.
also a factor.
So the next question is, sir, for the ransomware attack, what is the prevention taken by you as a backup of business continuity of apps and database?
Yeah, before I answer the primary question of what are the preventions taken, first you need to understand what is ransomware attack. So there are two types of ransomware currently in circulation, majorly. First one is called as encrypting ransomware, which is more common. Encrypting ransomware is designed to block system files and ask the victim for a payment in exchange for the passkey needed to unlock the encrypted data. That's
Okay.
point one.
Okay.
Second one is known as the locker ransomware. Through the cyber thieves, those cyber thieves will ask money from you as well. Locker ransomware does not encrypt any data at all, but does lock your operating system and prohibit you from accessing your desktop or any file. So these are the two types of major ransomware attacks taking place. To protect to this, first of all required is, again, robust data backup. The goal of ransomware is to force the victim for a pay the ransom in order to regain access to their encrypted data. However, this is only effective if the target actually loses an access to their data. A robust and secure data backup solution is an effective way to mitigate an impact of a ransomware attack. If systems are backed up regularly and tested for restoration, then the data loss of ransomware attack should be minimal or non-existence, which means immediately you can format that system and come back to a natural state with a data restoration if your data is properly backed up. You can avoid that. However, it is important to ensure that the data backup solution can't be encrypted as well. Data should be stored in a read-only format to prevent spread of ransomware to drives containing recovery data. Second point important on this particular thing of ransomware attack is cyber awareness training, as I said earlier, like phishing email as one of the most popular ways to spread ransomware or malware. By clicking into a user click on a link or opening a malicious attachment, cyber criminal can gain access to the employee computer and begin a process of installing and executing ransomware program on it. So giving a cyber awareness training is very important. Then, as you said, strong secured user authentication. So criminals commonly use remote desktop protocol or RDP and similar tools to gain remote access to an organization's system using guest or stolen login passwords. Once inside, the attacker can drop ransomware on a machine and execute it, encrypting the files and stored there. The potential attack vector can be closed through the use of strong user authentication, a multi-factor authentication, a complex password, enforcing a strong password policy require use of multi-factor authentication, and educating employees about phishing attacks designed to steal login credentials are critical components to an organization's cybersecurity strategy. It should be there. Then comes again up-to-date patches. So let me talk about something which is pretty old but still important, like WannaCry, one of the most famous ransomware variants in existence, in an example of a ransomware worm. Rather than relying upon phishing emails or RDP to gain access to a target system, WannaCry spread itself by exploiting vulnerability in the Windows Server Message Block, which is SMB protocol. Right. At the time of famous WannaCry attack in May 2017, a patch existed for the Eternal Blue vulnerability used by WannaCry. This patch was available a month before the attack and labeled as critical due to its high potential for exploitation. However, if I remember correctly, many organizations and individuals did not apply that patch in time,
Yeah.
resulting in a ransomware outbreak that infected more than 2 lakh computers within 3 days. So keeping computers up to date and applying security patches time to time for all your systems, which includes your Linux, your Windows, your other Unix flavors, your databases, your applications. So all layers of a computer, especially those labeled as critical or maybe crown jewels for your organization. For bank, it is NEST, all financial related. For telecom, it is Syria related or voice related. So according to sector, the crown jewels may be different, but whatever is mentioned and labeled as critical can help them to limit organizations' vulnerability to ransomware attacks if it is timely patched. Then comes anti-ransomware solution. While the previous ransomware prevention steps can help to mitigate an organization's exposure to ransomware threats, they do not provide perfect protection. Some ransomware operators use well-researched and highly targeted spear phishing emails as their attack vector. Those emails may trick even the most diligent employee, resulting in a ransomware gaining access to an organization's internal systems. So protecting against ransomware that slip through the cracks requires a specialized security solution in order to achieve its objective. Ransomware must perform certain anonymous actions such as opening and encrypting large number of files. Anti-ransomware solutions monitor those programs running on a computer for suspicious behaviors commonly exhibited by ransomware, and these behaviors are detected in advance and they can protect it. The program can take action to stop encryption before further damage can be done. So that is what is my thought process to protect ransomware.
Sir, you tell that some protection about that. So, if anyone or any company who wants to purchase ransomware software, so what thing he might be in their mind to purchase that software?
No, there are multiple variants of softwares available. It's a generic call, so I do not want to give any vendor name, but multiple
No,
vendors
but
are available.
just
I'm
keep
not
in mind.
sponsoring anyone. Yeah.
Yeah, just keep in mind. Yeah, this thing I keep in mind to when I go to purchase some software for the ransomware.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes. EDR, XDR related multiple softwares are available, which can give you this type of benefits. You
Mhm.
can choose according to your budget and according to your company's policy
Mhm.
and the requirement and the enterprise. So multiple vendors are there. You go for one vendor, make it a mandate, regularly update it,
Mhm.
use the effective policy, then it is if it is up to date and properly monitored, you can still protect to a large extent on this type of hacking situations.
Okay, good, very good note answer, sir. Sir, the next question is how do you prevent the 0 day attack for application having hidden security?
Yeah, it's good. So first of all, attack surface reduction is required, which we call ASR.
Yeah.
So protects against malware infection by blocking threads
Mhm.
based on the Office files, scripts, and emails. ASR can block the underlying behavior of malicious documents while enabling productive scenarios. It can detect and block malicious off-focused macro code, JavaScript, VB PowerShell scripts, can prevent scripts from executing payload or download from the internet or executable content in the emails. So attack surface reduction can be taken place. That's one. Second is network protection. Exploit guard blocks all outbound connections before they use, preventing malware from connecting to a command and control center. Outbound network traffic evaluated based on host name IP and reputation. And any network connection to untrusted destination is terminated. So end-to-end network protection need to be established for the organization. Controlled folder access wherever the data lies. Monitor changes made by the application to files in protected folders where the data lies actually. It can lock down critical folders and allow only authorized apps or users to access them. This can prevent encryption or files by ransomware. Then comes a new technology which is leveraging the next generation antivirus. It uses predictive analysis driven by machine learning and artificial intelligence and combines with threat intelligence to detect and prevent malware and fileless null malware attacks, identify malicious behaviors and TTPs from unknown sources. So traditional antivirus, what we used to hear, which detect malware using signatures, are not effective against zero-day attacks. They can still be useful because when vulnerability is publicly announced, the antivirus vendor will quickly update their malware database and antivirus will then be effective against threat. But next generation antivirus using some artificial intelligence and already having threat intel to it can be a good protection. Then comes, as I said again and again, implement a patch management. So all those are nothing but a system flaw which requires some or the other kind of patching. So any organization should have a patch management policy process clearly communicated to all the employees and coordinated with development team, IT operations, security teams, that your system will undergo patching in certain frequencies, mostly for critical and high patches. If you do so, you are mostly safe. And last but not the least, you should always have an incident response plan ready. So after doing all these things, it is not fully ensured that you should not be hacked or breached. It is a time when to breach, not why to breach. So when it happens, organization of all sizes will benefit from having an incident response plan that provides an organized process for identifying and dealing with a cyber attack. Having a specific plan focused on zero-day attacks will give you a huge advantage in case of attack, reduce confusion, increase your chances of avoiding and reducing the damage. There are certain steps to it, like preparation, perform a risk assessment, and I mean, the attack happens and then you wake up and create a plan, it doesn't occur. You have to have an advanced plan for it. So a preparation, which is a perform a risk assessment, identify which are the most sensitive assets the security team should focus on, prepare documentation that states the roles and responsibilities and processes for that particular area. Then identification, define how to detect a potential zero-day attack using tool and or operational process. Validate it really effective for an attack or not. Which additional data needs to be collected to deal with the threat. Perform a, a simulation for it so that in event of actual attack, you are ready. Then containment. Once a security incident is identified, what are the immediate steps that can be taken to contain the incident and prevent further damage of occurring? And what longer term steps can be taken to clean and restore the affected system? So this is containment. Then come eradication, how to identify the root cause of the attack and ensure steps taken to prevent similar attacks. Finally comes recovery, how to bring production systems back online, test them, and how long to monitor system to ensure they are back to normal. And then there is a documentation part of it, which is lesson learned. Perform a retrospective no later than 2 weeks time from the end of the incident to review tooling and organization process, see how to be better prepared for the next attack. So these are the processes to follow in event of a zero-day attack.
Sir, we go for the next question. What is your view on cyber risk insurance?
Yeah, it's very less discussed topic, but very important one.
Yeah.
Many organizations only think about it, discuss about it, but they do not go about it. So first, let me answer for the team which is there in the call. What is cyber risk insurance? Cyber risk insurance, also called as cyber liability insurance, does one simple thing. It helps you to keep your business running when there is a security breach. As with other kind of insurance, you transfer some of your risk to insurance company, so you don't have to pay out from pocket when a breach occurs. So the next questions come to the mind of people. What does cyber liability insurance include? Today, cyber risk insurance underwriting covers your organization's liability for a breach involving sensitive information. That can include the legal fees and expenses, repairing damaged computer systems and networks, recovering of data, restoring personal identities and of affected customers, notifying customers and regulator agencies about a breach. All these are important things. Then comes why you need a cyber insurance. I have done my patching, I have done my backup. Why do I still need a cyber insurance? The average cost of a data breach is into millions now. Those costs include fees, remediation, continuity cost, loss of business, etc., etc. They are so steep, they could spell the end of a business. Cyber insurance means an organization doesn't have to bear those costs alone. Despite the increased interest of cyber insurance policies, not enough for business that are investing in cyber risk insurance. And then comes cyber risk insurance is part of risk mitigation now. A single cyber attack can put an unprepared company out of business if it's a serious damage. Within this mind, it is important that all organizations implement a cyber risk management program that should basically include three things. One, monitor an organization's risk, help a company avoid breaches, and help them to recover a possible breach. These are the three important things. If you have suffered a breach, cyber risk insurance can help you to recover your losses, pay the fees and damages, and continue business as usual while you rebuild and repair your system and networks. So this is the importance of cyber risk insurance.
Okay. Sir, we are the last month of December, and in the coming month, year to 2024 is coming. So, as
Right.
per you, what are the top technology that CISO need to focus on coming 2024?
I answered this query on 2023 December also to some webinar, 2022 also. It keeps on changing because of the regular change in the world on
Yeah.
this. So for 2024, chief executives and their boards will be looking for tech chips, whatever you name it, CDO, CISO, cyber head, to build on their recent digital transformation achievements. Now, what is digital transformation? There is no doubt that a CISO will be asked to help their business accelerate the digital transformation process. CISO will have to get comfortable with their own new normal, meaning a mobile technology stack and a security controls that follows a user, device, and the data, regardless of where they are in the world. So people can connect to your organization sitting different part of the world. It will also force them to understand the risk with every business decision and be adaptable in figuring out how to best protect the company, both in short term with mitigation controls and in long term with more robust protection capabilities. The second thing I would request the CISO or the cyber heads is identity, because during this last meeting of Gartner, if you read that report, it talks about identity loss. So as company accelerate digital transformation, there will be more of an emphasis placed on controlling who has access and how the access is controlled. What are the authorized process to access and what they do with what in that access. That means limiting the access is very important. Identify centric progress also will take on a while in new meaning. There will be convergence of shots between security and privacy. Organization will be forced to provide controlled access from different places and devices. This put pressure on technologies that support MFA, identify governance, DLP, privilege access, insider threat, contingent access, and others. And this will protect you from cyber threats. Then comes endpoint, multiple endpoints. Protecting the monitoring endpoints is paramount. As a CISO, we have to assume that an endpoint has to be controlled in a way that prevents it from bringing exposed in a non-company environment. So they like I'm sitting on a city and I'm connecting to my organization in different city using my personal laptop, which allows the bring your own device. So how I can protect that user not to take out the data from the system, only work on the system and come back. There are softwares available, there are applications available, which needs to be incorporated so that I can view and work on the data, but I cannot take out that data. So endpoint protection is very important. The risk associated to it as much as the user themselves. Then comes home network, remote network, and SDN. CISO we need to find out ways to concentrate the endpoint on a home network, VPNs, and antiquated can be bridged. And unfortunately, man in the middle SSL or secured socket layer hijacks are easier for a non-control environment. So finally, companies will accelerate the use of SDN technologies to bring together disparate networks endpoints, resources, and the data into virtual network, and provide more dynamic policies by understanding where network controls end and endpoint controls start, and how identify determines how much a user is trusted given on a situation they are in. Last but not the least, as everybody says, it is cloud, cloud, and cloud. The future is now cloud services dominate everything we do by extending capabilities wherever the business will take us. If they haven't already, CISOs will need to embrace someone else being control or protecting their data. There must be an acceleration around the third-party risk management, validating the efficiency of controls, the efficacy of controls, hiring developer to automate the application of controls based on scenarios, and so on. More CISOs will self-consume services and controls versus always relying on consultation and other technologies, they will be safe. Finally, the attack landscape. It is different for you, for your organization. It is different for me, for my organization. So it is critical for every organization to understand their entire attack surface from the hacker's eyes, having an eyes wide open mentally to risk you have everywhere. It is a necessity. That's all I can say.
That's great, sir. It's a pleasure to you come here and give your view on the cyber resilience. I'm very thankful to you, and even in success is also thankful to you. Anyone else who want to ask some questions to sir? Anyone can unmute yourself and ask if you have any questions. We have 5 minutes left, so we are ready to give a your answer. It's okay. I think no one is asking. So now it's we can meet on the next our session with some another expert of cyber security. Again, once again, I thanks to you, sir, to give your time and support to the in success.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah. Thanks a lot,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so much. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a nice weekend.
Yeah.